So, first of all, I just wanted to say congratulations on your malicious copyright strikes. Hi, my name is Ophi YouTube Videos. I am a feminist and a lesbian, and I make conversational commentary videos about both of those things. I like to talk about misogyny in pop culture, how it informs the ways that we view and speak about victims when they bring forward stories, and I like to talk about the way that low effort and irresponsible content reinforces the sexist culture that we live in and lowers people's defenses until they don't even realize that they're being spoon-fed the kind of narratives cooked up for them in crisis PR group chats. Like, for example, the planning document that Tag Agency created to bury Blake Lively in retaliation for her reporting sexual harassment and workplace violations on the set of It Ends With Us. I've ended up making quite a few videos discussing this It Ends With Us fallout, and one that I uploaded last month centered around one piece of the Blake Lively retaliation campaign that has been very, very useful to the people with a vested interest in destroying her reputation. This is, of course, the congratulations on your little bump interview with a Norwegian American interviewer turned YouTuber who has since maliciously weaponized YouTube's copyright system to place 2 strikes on my channel. So I will not be showing you the congrats on your little bump clip, even though you can probably find thousands of re-uploads that she has not copyright struck because they were not hosted in videos that were critical of her. YouTube has informed me that there is not actually even a way for me to report her abuse of the system. My video was, of course, fair use. The clips were used for the purpose of criticism and commentary and were genuinely transformative. I now have to wait and see if she brings legal action against me because I countered her takedown request and now I have to wait 10 business days since that and see how it shakes out. I took a chance that probably the same lawyer who represented her when she sued the Golden Globes wasn't actually suggesting to her that she file a malicious takedown request against an impoverished creator who has nothing to pay even if she were to win. Based on the copyright claim coming directly from her channel email, I'm guessing that this was not done by a lawyer and that it was in fact just another play in Kjersti Flaa's long-running victim complex. I do think it's a bit of an interesting play because she referenced Film Cooper directly on her channel, even using clips from his video to fully misrepresent something that he had said to make it sound as if he was trying to take credit for the New York Times linking her to the smear campaign against Blake when he was actually just saying that he felt validated that the New York Times article mentioned that she was posting anti-Blake things and that she had posted pro-Johnny Depp things, which is just true. She wildly misinterpreted him, made it sound like he was saying something he wasn't. But me, she doesn't mention me directly on her channel, but I don't get to have my video remain up. I get to be silenced. uh, she thinks, at least. That is not actually how I am personally planning on playing this. I plan on re-uploading the video once her malicious strike is released, though I think I'm gonna have to cut the clips so that she doesn't do this exact same thing, but with the clip where she was asking Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan if they were stinky at the end of filming. But, since Kjersti ignored my email where I clarified that if this were truly a copyright issue, she should be content to know that I'm not planning on using any of her clips in my future YouTube content, and I haven't heard back, I assume that she has no intention of doing anything in good faith and that I will have to wait until that counter notification expires. So that's what I'm gonna do. And in the meantime, let's just talk about how hypocritical it is for this woman to silence criticism of herself this way. She has, at this point, uploaded more than 50 videos critical of Blake Lively. She has made an entire brand and livelihood on it. This woman sells congrats on your little bump t-shirts, as well as Justin's Little Dragon merch on her Etsy shop. My criticisms of Kjersti from my original video still stand, even though she did manage to get it taken down for upwards of a week. I think Kjersti Flaa is bad at her job, and that she profits after the fact by going back and finding clips of herself being bad at that job. She does this to Blake Lively, to great success. She attempted to do this to Anne Hathaway, to mixed success, and unfortunately got an apology from Anne Hathaway because of it. She even did this to Ezra Miller, because she needed to upload a version of her interview with Claudia Kim where she didn't condescendingly ask, "So you did speak English?" to a Korean woman, and decided to do that by framing Ezra Miller as the villain in that conversation, and also frequently and repeatedly misgendered Ezra in the video about it that she uploaded with this maliciously edited version. Kjersti Flaa was bad at her job as an interviewer, and she lost repeated vanity lawsuits against the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. which she seems to think discriminated against her because of a conspiracy against Norwegian reporters, even though there were also Norwegian reporters in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, just not the kind who were asking, does your costume stink? Unrelated to Kjersti's vanity suit and its repeated appeals, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association did get criticism for being actual racists, but not against white Norwegians who live in California, against people of color. Kjersti attempted to make herself the center of that conversation as well, even directly saying, how is it diverse to not hire any more white people? Kjersti also attempted to take credit for Brendan Fraser skipping the Golden Globes, aligning herself with him to say that they have it in common that their mother didn't raise a hypocrite. Something I don't think is true about Kjersti Flaa's mother. Kjersti Flaa is also bad at her job as a YouTuber, where she pumps out either selectively and maliciously edited interviews, or, more recently, just misogyny slop about Blake Lively being a horrible, evil liar. Kjersti is bad at understanding concepts like fair use, transformative work, criticism of a public figure, basic bare minimum standards to not be a hypocrite. I don't think Kjersti understands, though, how poorly the other members of her little ecosystem actually look at people on YouTube who abuse copy strikes the way that she did against me. I already said at the end of my other video about her that her place in this misogyny slop ecosystem is a precarious one, that eventually the very people currently using her as a source will turn on her and make content that is much more unfair to her than I ever have or will be. I think that's still true, and I think eventually the, oh no, Blake is silencing us bullshit that she's playing on her last several videos on her channel is gonna run dry when people realize that we get emails that show us that Kjersti herself is the one copy striking. I don't know if a larger YouTube channel than me will take my side in this ordeal, because I know that my pro-Blake stance is a pretty controversial one. I feel as though I've seen plenty of people who abuse copy strikes be part of a larger conversation, but also I think a lot of people maybe don't understand that this is something Kjersti is doing. I don't know if I'm the only person Kjersti has done a malicious copyright strike to, but I know I'm not the only person she's targeted. In between me scripting this video and filming it, Kjersti released multiple videos that were essentially doxing a private citizen, going so far as to name their workplace and their full name, and also not even bother to actually read the entire Substack article, which wasn't accusing Kjersti of what she pretended like she was being accused of. I'm gonna put my video about Kjersti up as soon as I can, and I'm also going to make a part 2, which I hadn't actually intended on before Kjersti decided to come for me personally like this over a video that got less than 12,000 views before she had it removed. But clearly, this woman is a bit, on the warpath, and I don't feel like leaving that alone right now, even though I don't feel like using future clips of her. We'll find a creative way to get around that in the future. Thank you so much to everybody who donated to me on my Ko-fi or who joined the Patreon, because Kjersti did intentionally mess with my income this month, despite the fact that she's probably bringing in tens of thousands of dollars of ad revenue on her misogyny slop. She was that concerned with the idea of me making some money on my on my video that got, again, less than 12,000 views. So thank you so much to everybody who watched that and who sent anything to try to offset getting one of my February videos nuked. This is definitely more of an explanation of where that went and why I was gone last week than it is a full video or really an installment in my Kjersti videos, but I really appreciate you watching it anyway. Thank you so much to my Patreon subscribers, a few of whose names you can see here on the screen right now. As mentioned, Patreon is a great way to help support me, and you also get a couple extra videos over there a month. I'm still going to be research streaming on the channel, though I may have to move the ones where we're watching things together over onto a different platform. But I do want to start scheduling some of my future live streams on the Patreon, but live streams have been a really spur of the moment thing for me lately, so I'm just waiting to make sure something I plan in advance can actually happen before I start planning those for the Patreon. But you can already find the Meow Meow research streams from last month, not the Kjersti ones. Those ones are completely gone, over on the Patreon if you missed them while we were watching together. I did make a community tab post warning before I pulled those down, but I just wanted to play it safe. I don't think I'm currently on the radar of anybody at Wayfarer who was going to copy strike me for using the Baldoni Me Too thing, but just to be safe. I'll be back soon. We're going to talk more about Kjersti Flaa. We are going to talk more about the misogyny slop ecosystem, but my video where I coined that term is down now, so this is why. This is why that video is down, because Kjersti cannot handle criticism of herself. Criticism that is fair and justified and that was not worthy of a copyright strike. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being interested in that kind of criticism when I give it. But if this wasn't quite enough Ofu time for you, you can also find me on Taylor Lorenz's Power User podcast. I was so excited when she asked me on to talk about the misogyny slop ecosystem. I'm going to link that in the description below. Make sure you go follow Taylor, and thank you again to Taylor for having me on the podcast. Thank you again for watching. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.